Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlighten, Empowered, Evolve. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I know everybody's doing well, and because everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even though at times we might not see that, it is. So just embrace that. And I'm having a great day today because yet again, I have an amazing person, amazing woman on this show. And I'm very excited. You know, I get these amazing, extraordinary people and they send me their bios and it just lets me have a sneak peek as to who they are. And it just makes me want to find out more. And I'm sure after you hear this, that you will want to know more too. Before I let her speak, her name is Alexandra Marrero. I want to make sure I said that right. But before I allow her to tell you more about herself, I want to tell you a little bit about her, what she's allowed me to know thus far. So Alexandra Marrero is the owner of Restorative Health and Wellness and founder of Weeducation. She has been in the health and wellness field for 11 years. She is a shamanic alchemist specializing in the chakras and healing trauma, treating one as a whole and working within the mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, and physical bodies. Not just focusing on the symptoms, but working within the root trauma to bring one back into wholeness in their own personal power. Alexandra is also a certified holistic health and life coach specializing in gut health, holistic lifestyle practitioner, certified Reiki Master Teacher, meditation facilitator, sound healer, crystal healer, spiritual mentor, and cannabis educator and advocate. Wow. As having such a strong passion for working with nature and plant medicine, she has founded an organization, Weeducation, to educate the community on safe and consciousness cannabis use and its medicinal benefits. Her passion is assisting others to create the life they desire and deserve. Wow, that's all I can say. There's so much here that I resonate with. I mean, let me just go back and gut health, I already know about that. And I mean, not totally about that, but that resonates with me. Holistic lifestyle practitioner, certified Reiki master, meditation facilitator, sound healer, crystal. I love crystals, spiritual mentor, cannabis, love cannabis, educate, advocate. Oh my goodness. How are you doing today, Alexandra?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I really appreciate being here and getting to speak in front of your audience and have this time with you and share all of this amazingness that I personally enjoy. I'm having an amazing day.
I am so thankful and appreciative of you being here. And like I said, prior to this segment, it's just so special that at this moment in time, this present moment, we are here. And it's, like I said before, time is a valuable asset because you cannot get that same moment in time back. And it's every moment is unique. So therefore, I'm so thankful of this moment in time to share this with you. Let's get right into it. I just want to just get right. I mean, you have so many things that you are passionate about. What would you like to talk about first? I mean, you want to talk about your Weeducation? I mean, let's get into that. So how did that get started? How did that get started?
So this is a completely brand new thing that I just started. So I'm still kind of like pen to paper stage.
Right.
But really, New Jersey just legalized recreational cannabis use. Like we're
Right.
still in the process of waiting for them to like put out licenses and stuff like that. But what I know that they're putting out as medicine,
Right.
unfortunately, in my personal opinion, isn't truly medicine. So the way how Weeducation started for me, me, my boyfriend, and another couple are looking to actually get a license to grow here in New Jersey.
Wow.
And
It'll happen.
it will happen.
It's happening. That's all I'm gonna say. It
is happening.
It is happening now.
Yes.
I believe it.
It's something that we're working on. And like the reason that I want to do it is because what they're putting out, in like my opinion, is just not medicine. The whole culture has completely been tarnished. The only thing that people care about right now is how high can I get this plant, like in THC.
Right.
So we're completely forgetting about the wholeness and the entirety of the plant and how and why it works so well with the body. Like it's not just about THC. So the medicine that we want to create, because it might be recreational, but it's still medicine. We're still receiving all of this amazingness from this sacred plant. I want our medicine to be completely different than any medicinal or recreational stuff in our state. So I want it to be cultivated with the love and care and intention that it is meant for healing, that it is meant to help people come back into wholeness on one level, where it's cultivated clean and organic and happy with that purpose, opposed to how high can we get the THC. So we want to include,
you know, if I may interject for a second, that's interesting that you say that, and that totally resonates with me, because I am not fully aware of how everything works, but I do know from what I've heard, you know, in the cannabis business, you do hear a lot about like what they've done to make it more potent and this and that. You really don't hear about the health aspect of it. And I'm glad that we have someone like you that is focusing on what it really is meant to be for, instead of just seeing how out of your mind you can be because these scientists cultivated something, you know, that just makes you just feel, you know, I'm not putting it down. Believe me, no one, whatever they decide to do or whatever your cause is, but or you decide to do, that's fine. I'm not judging anyone. But at the same time, being who I am, I could resonate more with what you're saying, you know. So I think that's so beautiful. And I'm so looking forward to that getting off the ground. And I want to have you back on here when you start having, when you get those products and when you know, so you can advertise and we can talk to people and get some people your way, you know, some more people your way. So you've been in the health and wellness field for 11 years. So what inspired you, if you can remember, to have you always been into like health and wellness? Has that just been part of who you are? I mean, how did that happen?
If you told me like 20 years ago that I would be doing anything that I'm doing today, I would have laughed at you. I would have been like, no way, that's not happening. I definitely was not always about like eating healthier or anything like that. It was actually after having my kids that drove me to want to make myself healthy and then help other people be healthy too. So I had like really difficult pregnancies with my first two children. I have 3 kids. My oldest is going to be 16 and my youngest is 5 and my middle is going to be 14.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. So my 2 oldest boys, I had them really young. And after, you know, like during the pregnancies, I was very sick. I had preeclampsia with my first pregnancy. I ended up having like a seizure 7 months pregnant, and both of us like almost died.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Like I landed up having to have him at 7 months because of it. Like my body was essentially rejecting him.
Oh,
So I
wow.
got very heavy. I gained a lot of weight. I gained like 100+ pounds and I was very depressed. My relationship was not the best. Fast forward 2 years later, baby number two, very, very similar situation. But at least we caught it before it got as bad. So it wasn't as bad or traumatic. But I was still very sick. I still gained a lot of weight and still very depressed. So after that, my kids were still very little. I was still heavy. I was still depressed. And one day I like looked in the mirror and I was like, you can't do this anymore. You got to do something. The
Right.
next day, I went to the gym, I signed up, and no matter how sore or tired I was there and I was putting in
Right.
the work. And I worked with a trainer and he helped me and he inspired me and he motivated me. And I was like, this man is such an amazing person to help me do this. Like, he is making me feel amazing. And I
Right.
always knew like in some way I was meant to help people. Prior to that, like I was a beautician, I did hair, I did makeup. So for me, that's how I was helping people prior. But to me, like this was just completely different. Like it's transformational.
Right.
So I figured I'm meant to help other people. Like this is what I'm meant to do. So
Yes.
over the years, I'm just the type of person, like I always want more. I want to learn more. I want to help more. I want to do more.
Wow.
So every few years or however often, like I would do another certification and learn more. Like, how can I help myself? How can I help my family? How can I help my clients? And I started getting more into like the holistic realm and like understanding food and understanding how food affects us. And it just like went from there. And it's
Wow. That's that's amazing, and I never get tired of saying this, but I believe a lot of times that, the adversities that we face, they can do one of two things. They can either pull us down and we can stay stuck in this slump and feel sorry for ourselves, or they can inspire us to get up, empower ourselves, and then from that, want to reach out and pour out to other people that may be in those same things. Because in that same condition or have went through those same scenarios or circumstances. And I think it's beautiful because the world is full of people and you're always going to find pockets of people that have been through or are going through what you're going through or what you've been through. And the amazing thing is to have someone that has been through that and has found their unique way to overcome it. And that will encourage a lot of people. I could just tell, so I just want to tip my hat off to you for doing what you're doing and just deciding that's what you wanted to take your your lessons, your circumstances, your life events, and turn them into testimonies and ways to seeking knowledge and information to not only educate yourself, but to help other people. And that's where I really resonate with you, because I'm the same way. I feel that my purpose is to seek more awareness and evolve and expand. And as I do that, share it with people.
Mhm.
And that's why I created this platform as well, to get amazing, extraordinary people like yourself that we might not be going down the exact same roads or share the exact same passions, but there is a similarity because we both believe and we both have a similar interest in evolving and helping people in some way. So and becoming better ourselves and more aware, more educated ourselves and learning about things like you about the food and about cannabis, and just about, you know, your health issues that you went through, how you can help, you know, other people get through those things. And I think that's amazing. So let me get into something else here. I mean, like I said, you have such an extensive resume. So Shamanic Alchemist, okay, in chakras and healing. You specialize in chakras and healing trauma, treating one as a whole. Okay, now how'd you go about getting into that? And what is that? How did that come about?
There was always like so many holes. So when I was like helping people primarily on the physical level, like with personal training or something like that, and trying to assist them with food, like you would give everybody like all of these tools, like this is your workout, do this X amount of times, drink this amount of water, eat this, not that. And no matter what you did and how much more you cared than they did, like they, not all, but a lot of people still struggled so much. And I'm like, obviously I had my moments in certain aspects of my life too, where I struggled. You know, we're not all perfect. We're still human at the end of the day.
Right.
So why? Like, what is that? So from like the physical aspect of the being, I started getting more into the spiritual and emotional aspects of the being. Right. And studying people, like I'm studying myself, you know, right. So I got to find out so much about me and help my healing. Right. And it clicked. And I'm like, oh my God, like your energy literally is the number one thing for your health. Because right. If you're vibing low, you're going to do the vibe low things. You're going to eat the crappy food. You're not going to work out. You're not going to move your body. You're not going to meditate. You're not going to drink water. You're not going to do the things. So yes. What are really those things that are telling you you can't or not to do it? What is that? So learning about the energy system and learning about trauma and how our energy centers, our chakras essentially record it, not from only from this life, but like from past lives, and how the trauma is always the root cause of everything. Addiction,
right?
And it's not alcohol, it's not weed, it's trauma. Like, what yes. Are we escaping from? What are we? Why do we have these blocks? Why can't we eat the salad opposed to the whatever? You know, right. So really learning and having like that aha moment and seeing how I was able to create lifelong transformation and assist other people in making lifelong transformations by healing and releasing the trauma and aligning the chakras and right. Just allowing a certain flow and raising the vibration. It was just like, this makes sense. Like so many things just made sense.
Right.
And like, why don't we learn this? Like in the real world, like, why don't we learn how to deal with our emotions? Why don't we learn that all emotions are okay and normal and here to teach us, opposed to stuffing it down?
That's amazing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you just flipped a light switch on, and that's why I love doing this show. I mean, with the extraordinary people like yourself. But you flipped on the light switch, and I have to say something. You said, why don't people, you know, do the things like that? In my perspective, I feel like people, a lot of times, not everyone, but even me, I've been guilty of it at one point in time, just following what we're programmed to do. Like what you're following is actually something that is resonating with your spirit, with your soul. And we as a society, as a whole, as people, are not taught to do that. We have these things in place, these certain books, these certain traditions set in place, and we don't go outside of that. So that's one of the things I ask people, what you're doing, and I mean religion, beliefs, anything. I never criticize anybody's beliefs or religion. I believe whatever makes you a better person, go for it. But I always ask, is that really resonating with your soul? Are you really truly happy with, the path you're going, and what you're the information that you have? Is that really, does it leave any questions? Does it, and you have to follow. That's one of the reasons why I grew up in a very religious family, a very religious Christian family, but there was a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things, that when I would ask, oh no, you just can't ask because it says, just don't ask. It says, don't question this. And I'm like, no, that's not good enough. That doesn't resonate with me. And it's like, wait a minute, so I began to, seek, answers, and seek information that felt more warm to my soul. And I believe that what you said is that is a big question. And it is something that we have to ask. Why don't we, everything that you said? So yeah. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like it's something that should be taught in school, and
right.
Like adults still don't know how to deal with their own emotions.
Right.
Don't know how to process anger and grief or anything, and they're just not even aware of trauma that they've experienced in life and how it affects them. And just because they don't think about it, it doesn't mean it's not there.
And again, you sparked another thought. Just like I can just give an example in my family, and what I've seen in a lot of people of my similar ethnicity, where when we're dealing with certain traumas, we don't seek help. We don't seek psychologists and all that, because that means you're crazy. Well, I believe that we're all a bit crazy, especially if you've been through a lot of different things. I mean, how can you be normal when you see, I don't want to name certain things, but when you see certain things certain things have happened in your life, you're not going to be normal. You're going to be, so you need to seek, I learned that myself. You need to address those issues instead of covering them up, like you said, so, and I believe that's what a lot of people, including myself, have done, instead of addressing those root causes. I've tried to numb them with alcohol and with, substances, trying to just cover them instead of dealing with them and eradicating them. So yeah, that's not taboo to admit I have issues, and let me figure out why this is the way it is. And that's amazing that you have come to that realization, that the root cause, like, okay, we're dealing with what's going on, but not where it stems from, so let's get that out. Let's deal with that.
Yep.
So
a lot of times the things that are occurring in our daily life are literally just triggering the original trauma. It's not creating the original trauma. It's just triggers for the original trauma that was created a long time ago.
Yeah, that's in there. That's just part of you. Yeah. So yeah, that is. And that's amazing. And I was going to tell you too, this is off topic, but I keep seeing your hand. I love that sign, and I want one. I don't know where I want it, but I got my eye right here.
I love it. I want that on my other hand.
Yeah. So I got my eyes, and I want to get that maybe on this hand, or maybe inside of this wrist here, the sign. I love it. I see some beautiful designs that, there's different ones, but I like that one. I saw a picture when I was scrolling through your pictures. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, I had them do like a reverse, with like the I forget what they call it. It's like a pixel, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Wow. Yes. So that is totally amazing. Everything that you are talking about, and just, okay, let's get into some more, a little bit more. Okay. So your life coach specializing in gut health. Yeah. Now this, I've had some adversities in my gut. I won't really put them out there, but how'd you get into that? And
Um,
what triggered you?
for
Or,
me, like it was a huge part of my weight loss struggle. So like
okay.
after my first two children, it was a lot of work to lose the weight and, feel good again. And with food and everything like that. But like I started noticing like at some point, like I would have like your typical like cheat day or cheat weekend, I would drink and whatnot. And like it took me a while to realize like how certain foods are actually affecting me. And then I started learning about it. So when I became a health coach and I learned about gut health, I decided to specialize in it because I saw how impactful it was to the physical being and how it also impacts the mental health
Right.
and how the inflammation can create dis-ease in the body.
Right.
So for my oldest son, the most impactful thing for me was for quite some time, like he would have like seizures, like kind of randomly, and nobody could figure out why, like what was happening, what was causing them. They wouldn't even diagnose him with anything. So
Right.
numerous neurologists, hospitals, whatnot. And one of the last times, one of the doctors was like, well, if it happens again, I'm going to put him on medication. I was like, no, no.
No. Yeah, I
So
get
I
it.
started treating him holistically and I started with nutrition. Um, and then I learned how certain foods would just create so much inflammation within the body and how that inflammation traveled to the brain. So if it was seizures, that also brings back to the energy body on trauma that we had in early life. So
Wow.
seizures is actually a symptom of trauma within like the third eye. So he had that, like he saw very traumatic events at a young age between me and his father. So the
Yes.
way that it manifested into the physical body is with seizures. So
Right.
how I had to treat that was with his food and his diet and eliminating certain foods from his diet that were causing the extreme inflammation for him. And then I landed up utilizing CBD and giving him like higher doses of CBD to awaken his endocannabinoid system.
Wow.
So the combination of that was so impactful that he didn't have seizures for 3 years
Mm.
until he had a long weekend where he was with his father and his father fed him stuff that he shouldn't have had. So he landed up back in the hospital. And that
Oh
happened
my.
2 times until his father decided he would believe me because he just thought I was crazy. And the last time he got hospitalized for it, the doctor was basically like, well, I don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you what I think. And I said, okay, I'm going to let you talk and then I'm going to talk. She said, okay. And then I told her, now I'm going to tell you what I know it is. And she still was skeptical. And he stayed for a couple days. They found nothing. There was literally nothing that came up on any test. And when they decided to discharge him because nothing would come up, she actually wrote on the discharge paper, continue at home treatment as is, CBD, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, that was such a powerful moment because that's never happened.
Right.
Just never have happened, and finally, like, I'm like, somebody's listening, like somebody's finally understanding. And
That's
for me, it's
amazing.
just such an amazing thing. And he's been fine.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
he chose the right mother. So that's amazing. And like I said, again, I have to say this again, just you probably hadn't looked at it this way, or maybe you have. Just the adversities of things, you are able to turn them into testimonies and I don't really want to say experiments, but solutions. And from what you're doing, you can enlighten other people. I mean, amazing. That right there is, to me, is what it's all about. You know, when it comes to you have a responsibility now with all this, and whether you know it or not, or whether you accept it or not, you have a responsibility now with all these things that you've been through, and all, you know, with your own health and your children's health, to, you know, help other people now, because you're finding there's something in you that everybody doesn't find these answers like you do. So there's a reason why. So, you know, that's beautiful. And I want to say, I heard what you said when you said, oh, he thought I was crazy. Oftentimes that's what people think, especially when they don't understand something. When they don't understand, you know, I've been called crazy or the devil or whatever, because I'm sharing information that people aren't used to or they don't understand. And a lot of times when people don't understand something, it's easy for them to write you off as crazy, or you're doing something cultish or demonic or whatever, because they don't understand. It's outside of their level of consciousness, and so they don't get it. And unfortunately, that's how you know, a large portion of society has been taught to react to things that they don't understand, you know. Yeah. So, but you keep doing what you're doing. So also, okay, meditation, you know, that's, I meditate every day. Sound healer, crystal healer. So sound healer. Okay. So what do you do with sound healing? Like, you have sound bowls, or what do you do?
Sound bowls, tinctures, tuning forks.
Oh, and I love crystals. I don't totally understand everything, but I just know they make me feel good. Yeah.
My younger son likes to tease me because, like, I call them my friends, and I love them, and I treat them like children.
Right. No, I get it.
Hey, they make me feel good. Like, I know what they do, and I see how they help people, you know, and it's just so amazing, like the level of healing that crystals give people.
Right. They have energy. Yeah. They have yes.
Yeah. They have consciousness, and they hold so much. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah. And I never knew why, at a young age, I mean, I haven't really studied crystals, but I just know that even from a young age, I was intrigued by them, you know, by crystals. Like, you know, for some reason I wanted to hold them, and I wanted them to be close to me. And it's just, wow. And now I, you know, after talking to, you know, amazing people like you, then I know why I felt that way. And I didn't know then, you know, but that's amazing. So how I'm going to put, when I upload this video to YouTube, I'm going to put your whatever links that I think you sent me and put it in the description. But just verbally, while we're here now, how can people find you, get a hold of you, or see what, you know, you have going on, if they want to seek your, you know, your wisdom, your knowledge, your help, your insight? How can they do that?
I need to build an actual website, but for
now, that's next.
Because there's just so much going on. But people could reach me via email or phone. My email is restorative.healthcoaching@gmail.com.
Okay.
My direct line to Restorative Health and Wellness is 848-205-5468. You can find me on Facebook at Alexandra Marrero, as well as Restorative Health and Wellness. And you can also find me on Instagram at Restorative Health and Wellness.
Wow, that's amazing. And, you know, I have some things in common with you too. You know, you have these goals, and you are going to accomplish them. And because I've had this thing in me to get a book written, and I'm just trying to, in my mind, I want to follow a structure first. So I want to get this show good and going and build it up. And,
Yeah.
I know we can focus on more things than one, at once, but
Yeah.
my energy is really into right now my music and this platform right now. So I want to be more focused before I really get into that book. So I understand you already have those intentions,
Mhm.
Your website and all that. I just to share with you, I just recently, and it took me a long time to do it. Just recently, I'm going through the process of getting Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved trademark. So that's, and so that's something I wanted to do years ago. And I'm finally doing it. So yeah, things take time, just because you get the idea in your head doesn't mean that, oh, I better hurry up and do it now. Otherwise it seems like I'm not taking care of business. No, that's not it. You know how you want to do things, and it may not be in the way that other people think you should do it. But at the same time, it's good to have encouragement like, hey, you know what? That thing that you want to do, get on that. It's good to have people like that too at the same time, because those are some amazing, things you got coming. So, and I can't wait to see them come into fruition.
Thank
And I
you.
appreciate you so much for coming on again, and sharing your time with me and sharing your excellent, positive, beautiful energy and insight with me and the viewers here. I appreciate you very much, Alexandra.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too.
Before we go, is there any last words, concluding things you would like to say? Or
No, I mean, like, for those that are interested in learning more, I always offer free consultations. So, just to find out, like, if I'm even a fit for people.
right,
Sometimes we're not, and that's totally fine too.
right,
So, if you guys are
exactly.
set,
Yeah, I'm like that too. See, everything
yeah,
you say, I can, I'm getting it, and that's how you find connections with people with similar mindsets, because I'm okay either way. Either way, that's the way it's supposed to be. Just like if I
why
ask
you're
someone,
here.
yeah, if I ask someone or put it out there for someone to be on my show and they say, no, I'm not interested. Thank you, universe, because this person wasn't meant to be on my show. Thank you. So I don't get upset like, why, no, this is the way it's supposed to go. So,
Yeah.
Just like you're supposed to be here, and the universe is a perfect orchestrator. So we are here now. And at this moment in time, and I'm so thankful. So thank you again. And thank you everyone who is watching, who will watch, and just love and appreciation to everyone here on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Peace. Love you.